I played with my brother's friends who were way older and way cooler than me. So they said, oh, here's the newest servers are down. And we all played Here's the New Earth, which is like a Dota spinoff. And then they're like, well, we need to find a new game to play. So they just searched up like MOBA and they found League. They're like, it's free. So we downloaded it and we played. And the first few hours, I just remember I mained Pudge or Devourer in Dota and Han. And that champion is like really similar to Blitzcrank. So all I did was play Blitzcrank. I was like, he's on free week. This is awesome. You don't have to pay money or anything. I just play Blitzcrank. And I played Blitz for like 10 hours that day. We just like played League all day. It was really fun. Back when I started playing, it was like pre-season. It wasn't even season 1 yet. And when I started playing, we just crushed everybody together. We were like a pre-made 5 with like really good MOBA experience, and Blitz just seemed so OP back then. You know, just like hook somebody who doesn't know what they're doing and then you just kill them. We all just got like super fed every game and just sped to 30. All I knew how to play was Blitzcrank and solo queue. And it's because I just leveled from 1 to 30 with him. He was like, well, I didn't play League of Legends, like I played Blitzcrank, that was just it. And it was so fun because like once I hit 30, I remember there was this tier list that everyone was looking at. Everyone linked it to you when you got in rank lobby. They're like, check this tier list, just pick tier 1 champions. At the bottom of the tier list is tier 5's last champion, Blitzcrank, and it was telling us like, no, it's like the worst champion in the game, do not play him. And I was like, you're so dumb, like this guy's a pro player, like people respect his opinion, like how stupid do you have to be? So I just blocked Blitzcrank every game and just like, I'm not gonna say like I 1v5 carried, but like nobody knew how to play against him because he was perceived as a terrible champion. And so when you underestimate, you know, your opponent like that, you just get hooked constantly. And I remember it took me like probably 2 or 3 months of ranked play before I hit the top of the ladder. Back then, God, the meta was so weird because it was all double bruisers. Bottom lane, there was no AD carry position. In fact, if you wanted to play an AD carry, you played it mid lane. So you saw like Ashe and Corki and Ezreal being played mid. And then bottom lane was double bruisers. So I was thinking of bruisers that nobody knew how to play against. So then I started playing Poppy. And I think I popularized her in season 1 and got her nerfed pretty bad. Before I played her in the season 1 DreamHack qualifiers, nobody knew what she did or like what to build on her or anything like that. So it was pretty fun to play Poppy when nobody knew how to play against her. Once again, like I don't think I was that great at the game. I think it was just people didn't know what the champions I played did because everyone was really new to the game. And how are you supposed to absorb what like 70 or 80 champions can do when you've only had a few months to play the game? So as soon as people caught on to like what I was doing, like the gimmicks that I was pulling, then I had to play more meta champions, and I switched over to playing AD carry then. Probably my least favorite change, people will probably not remember this, but there was a time when Masteries, in like the first tree, instead of attack speed where it is right now, it used to be 4% crit. And that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Cause like you walk in the lane, and this was when like people started Boots 3 pot. There was like no Doran, so you had like 400 HP level 1. You'd walk in the lane and like get a Janna shield, and if you crit on that first auto with 4% RNG, you just won the lane. Like there's nothing the enemy can do. And then, oh man, I just remember these stupid fights where like you didn't have any crit and you would just 4% RNG like twice in a row and just win. And it was like, why is this in the game? I complained and complained. Like I added every Riot employee that I like knew, and I was just like, please tell your game dev department, whatever, like remove this mastery from the game. And eventually it did get removed. That was probably the most frustrating time I've ever had playing League of Legends, because I would just lose or win lane based on something completely out of my control. I hate when the game decides whether or not you win or lose versus like your individual skill. And then like everyone was, you know, there's a big debate about that video, which was so funny. Like somebody added as like, I crit 4 out of 7 times with 25% crit. That doesn't make any sense. And like, I don't think that you should win or lose something based on something completely out of your control. Like I felt bad. I was like guilty. It was like, I don't know if I deserve this. So yeah, I hate crit. I think everyone should learn Kalista. She's pretty OP right now. And as for a tip, probably just always try to keep your E off cooldown. And what I mean by this is when you get a certain number of stacks on somebody, for example, you auto attack them once or 5 times, doesn't really matter. Don't just immediately rend. Try to set up a creep. So the stacks will stay there for a few seconds and you auto attack your creep down to 1 HP and then you rend. And if your rend kills the creep, then your rend will go back off of cooldown. A lot of people will just immediately snap their spears and their rend is on cooldown for like 10 or 15 seconds, and then you're vulnerable. So what you'll see a lot of competitive players do is set up the creeps at lower HP so you can keep it reset. Definitely the most excited I've ever been was Season 3 All-Stars Shanghai. My parents are from Shanghai, I speak Shanghainese, so it was like going back home like to my heritage, and it was kind of like a surreal experience to travel all the way to China. And then I got there and I played with like the players that I looked up to the very most. And this was like when CLG was at its lowest low. And then I got to play on like the NA All-Star team. It's like, wow, this is a dream come true. You know, I'm gonna make the most of it. And we played Team Europe, and there was this huge talk between NA and EU. It was like, EU greater than NA, or like NA greater than EU, you guys are like whatever. And then we played them and I got a pentakill, and that was like I think like the cornerstone of my career where it's like, man, I could be really good if I just put more work in the game. Because like before then, I wasn't as motivated to play. I just kind of banked on like my raw talent or like skill to outplay people. And then when me and Xpecial tore it up at All-Stars, it was like the most fun I've ever had. And I remember when I got the pentakill, I like, it's like a blank spot of memory. I don't remember getting it. I just remember going crazy, like screaming, like stomping my feet, just like going insane. And I've never had such a rush before in any other match.